The Italian city of Florence evokes medieval splendor and majesty. It is the birthplace of the Renaissance, of Michelangelo, Donatello, and Brunelleschi, of Medici banking and modern capitalism. Its streets and gardens still teem with the sights, smells, and charm of a bygone era. The city of Venice, cobbling together 118 islands into an amalgam of canals, bridges, iconic churches, courtyards, homes, and palaces, suggests a floating dreamscape where every view becomes a perfect picture. Together, these two cities, Florence and Venice, became the home to students in the Honors College during their spring break travel class adventure in March of 2017. For 8 weeks prior to their travels, 14 Honors College students studied the history, art, and culture of these two amazing cities. They each gave presentations on the important personalities and cultural attractions of both Florence and Venice. They also learned important travel skills before their Italian adventure. Pack light. Once prepared, the HCC Honors College students invaded Italy.
We're on our way to the airplane.
We're landing in Florence, and we can see the Duomo from here.
For 4 days in Florence, students walked the same streets as the Medici, Dante and Ghiberti. They visited some of the most famous museums in the world, the Bargello, the Uffizi, and the Accademia.
Hi guys, my name is Kindly. We're at the Accademia in Florence. I'm literally having a mental breakdown walking down the hall looking at David.
They descended on the historic city center, visiting the famous Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore, its baptistry with its golden doors of paradise, and the Duomo Museum.
Right now we are inside the baptistry, and one cool thing about this is you can see the picture of Christ with one thumb up and one thumb down.
Hi guys, we're at the Museo dell'Opera del Duomo, and we're standing before Michelangelo's Pieta.
They even climbed Brunelleschi's famous cathedral dome for the best view of this red-roofed tiled city.
Hi everyone, we're on top of the Duomo and it has been a really nice experience. I feel very blessed, very privileged to be here in Italy, and it's just been an amazing experience. There's no words to describe it.
Honors College students also travel outside the city by bus to the hillside town of Fiesole to visit its Roman and Etruscan ruins. With some sadness, the students left Florence by train to start afresh in Venice.
We just made it to Venice.
In the carless island city of Venice, we jumped into the maze of small streets, canals, and bridges with a walk to the Scuola San Rocco to see the work of the great Venetian painter, Tintoretto. From San Rocco, we crossed the street to visit one of Venice's largest churches, the Friar Church, and all of its artistic treasures.
This is Titian's tomb. He was the only one that during the plague that hit Venice to be buried in an actual church burial. He didn't actually create this himself. This was created a couple years after he died. But yeah, he has a couple of pieces here at this Friar Church.
Close to the iconic Rialto Bridge, spanning the Grand Canal, we enjoyed a classic Venice moment.
But it's so cool. There's a Rialto Bridge over there. We just crossed it. We're on our way back to the hotel.
How do you feel, Khan?
Awesome.
Our first full day in Venice took us by Vaporetto along the Grand Canal to St. Mark's Square to see the Doge's Palace, St. Mark's Cathedral, and the Carrera Museum.
Up at the top of this column, you got the winged lion, which is the symbol of St. Mark, right? And so this big cathedral, as you know, was built to house the bones and body of St. Mark. You'll see the winged lion everywhere. He's up there on the Campanile. See him up there? You see him over there in the building across directly in front of us with the clock.
We're standing right here in where the tetrarchs are. These boys, they had to go through a long journey. They were once in Constantinople, meant for Caesar and Augustus. Unfortunately, the journey for them was not nice. You can see one of them lost a foot and all of them lost their noses.
Our next day was Lagoon Day, where we traveled to the nearby islands of Murano and Burano. Known for its glass making since medieval time, Murano proved to be the miniature version of Venice with glass and glass factories everywhere. Back on a water bus, we traveled to the more distant island of Burano with its colorful buildings, slower lifestyle, and handmade lace. Hello, we're in Burano, and as you can see, there's beautiful houses that are colorful. And as you can see right next to me, there is a store with lace. Same thing with Murano. Murano is, the income for them is glass, and for Burano is lace. I'll be right behind me. It's the Campanile, the Leaning Campanile, and this city is just beautiful. Back in Venice, students finished their trip with one last day of research, visiting the art of famous artists, churches, and museums that fulfilled their last special research itineraries.
Hello everyone, this is our last day in Venice, and we're right now in the Jewish ghetto community. As you can see, the buildings are very high that they normally are in Venice. The reason why for that is because since they were secluded in a small area, that the only way they could expand is upwards, and so the way they did that, they just built taller buildings so they could fit more people in. As you can see where Abby and Jenny are, it's a Holocaust memorial dedicated to those people, those Jewish people who sadly were taken away to internment camps.
With our final gelato, the students from the class of 2017 wrapped up one of the greatest adventures of their lives. Both Florence and Venice proved to be magnificent, beautiful, approachable, and kind, but they left much still to be discovered, perhaps on the next trip.
Everything we learned prior to the trip is going to be useful to us, and we're going to use it. It was just really amazing to see so many details. My favorite was the Carrera Museum in Venice. The atmosphere and the building and everything was just really amazing.
I got this Venetian flag in Venice. You can see it's red, it's gold. You know, Venice is likes their royal colors a lot. Of course, it has the main part of the flag has the winged lion, the symbol of St. Mark, and of course the symbol of Venice.
For me, the Academia was the best part of Florence. I like the gallery of the music instruments, and seeing David and other statues that Michelangelo built were really amazing.
One of my favorite moments when we went to the trip, it was the first walk, the really first walk. We were all very, very tired, and I remember that Mr. Wilcox told us if we wanted to go to gelato, so everybody was excited and we said yes. And after that, he told us again like if we wanted to do like a night walk. And I really felt that it was very special for me, because when I went and I saw the Palazzo Vecchio and the Duomo for the first time in the baptistry, the proportion, it was so huge. Everything was in that moment I realized that I was in Florence, that I was in Italy. So, and it was very, very special.
My best moment on the trip had to be like the research days, just because they were really individually based. Like our groups got to go out and just do our own things. Like I know for me, like on our research day we stayed like looking at the museums and going to the churches, but towards the end, like Andrea had to go get macaroons for one of her friends, and that was really fun for us because I got to try rose gelato, which I had never tried before, and it was really amazing. I didn't imagine something could taste beautiful, but that thing tasted beautiful. It was really good.
Our group decided to go to the Gallery dell'Accademia, and it turns out to be my most favorite place in Venice because it has such a great collections of Titian's, Tintoretto, and especially Bellini.
All the classes we took, art history, the humanities class, and world literature helped us understand and comprehend more of Florence in Italy.
My favorite moment was when we climbed the dome. And it was because we visited the Duomo before, like I think the day before, and we went inside and saw the church and everything. But it didn't hit me like it was literally the dome till we were actually climbing, and we were like in these like narrow spaces in the stairs, and we were like, oh my God, we really climbed this thing. I know. And I really like realized like, okay, I read this book about Brunelleschi and how he built this, and I'm literally inside the Duomo. Like I couldn't like my brain couldn't wrap like the thing around. I was like, this is just so amazing.
Hi. What am I saying?
What are you feeling?
I'm feeling tired, but I'm happy to be on the plane because we don't have any more connections.